Hello and welcome to episode 179 of Bobo Arty Records. Hey! So I'm going to start off this episode a little bit differently than normal because I wanted to roughly address some of the artillery changes that have been proposed, or there's little snippets of information that have been coming about, and I know we're all really interested in what wargaming could potentially have planned, so I thought I'd stick a replay up of something. I'm sure I'll find something to go over this audio, and just so you have something to watch while I blabber on a little bit, and then maybe we can have a couple of games if there's enough time. So yes, let's have a look. I've got a few notes here and I'm going to see if I can do all this in one go, so do forgive me. But I suppose I should start off first and just say thank you to all the new subscribers. It's good to see you, and hopefully I can maintain a regular schedule of these 3 videos a week on top of normal real life stuff. Maybe I'll try and add 1 or 2 things in. I don't have the best computer in the world, so I've been finding doing subscriber replays and things extremely difficult to manage with software crashing and my CPU not really being powerful enough. But you never know, I might be able to do something eventually a little bit more regularly, and also I might try the streaming if I get time. Maybe we'll have to do some test streams. I've done one before and it was really good fun, but I'm not sure whether my computer's really capable of managing it, but we'll give it a go. So if you do see me pop online, it's probably for some kind of testing on Twitch and things like that. I could always try the new YouTube streaming thing. I haven't looked into that, but I could always do that. So yes, I'll try to remain informative as I can. I know that sometimes I get things like skills and perks muddled up, and yeah, I'm not really up on exactly how all the mechanics work and stuff. I'm not, the best World of Tanks player, but I do enjoy it. I've played it for quite a long time on and off, and slowly have become more serious with it, and it's fun at the end of the day, and I'll keep doing it while it's fun. So I might try and pick up some of the smaller artillery, the lower tier stuff, so then maybe you guys can see what that's like from my perspective. I mean, it's very, very different style gameplay than the higher tier stuff. Definitely, it's almost like 2 completely different types of vehicle. Once you get to tier 5 onwards, it completely changes. It's bizarre. So yeah, maybe we could try a little bit more of that. But yes, some of the info from the artillery changes, I've managed to find some information from Rita's blog posts. I'll stick a link to her blog in the description. Well worth a read, definitely worth keeping up to date with. She's very informative and quick to get new little snippets of potential information from insiders and things. It's really handy. Yes. So really, there wasn't too much, but from what I understand, some of the Russian players met with Storm. They were celebrating the Russian Tanker Day, and Storm announced some of the things that Wargaming want to test for the artillery rebalancing. Yes, now some of them are a bit weird. Like, there's an idea about turning artillery into like a debuff class, so decreasing the damage but giving them the ability to suppress crew and skills and perks and stuff. I can just see that really enraging everybody. I mean, the artillery player would be rewarded with XP for suppressing certain people and things, but it would just be really irritating as hell, I can imagine. Yes, there's some other things that are a bit odd, just because this is like World War tanks and not really some of the newer vehicles that we've seen in later wars and stuff. So the things like illumination shells, so you can spot certain areas. A lot of this is sounding very similar to Armoured Warfare. Kind of a warning that Arty players are targeting you and things like that. It's like, well, yeah, I suppose you need to give up some realism for gameplay, and that could possibly be okay, I guess. Maybe if they were to change the accuracy of the artillery. One that I'm not too keen on, one of these ideas of changing artillery's view from the overhead view to the battle assistant view just all the time. That could be quite scary, but it could be quite fun. I mean, it would mean leading targets and hitting targets on the move would be more difficult, but some things would be greatly improved, like being able to see whether or not you're going to be able to get over a rock or the crest of a hill and things like that. So I'd like to know what your thoughts are on potentially having that view all the time. It could make YouTube videos more interesting for some, I guess. I mean, something that they haven't mentioned that I thought would be quite good, and I know a few other people, like Nikki, that we've seen on some of our subscriber replays before, has mentioned about changing the way the HE mechanic works and changing the types of shells that artillery use. I think that would be really, really handy. Maybe nerfing some of the alpha. I mean, some of the damage that certain types of the artillery do are really sporadic and just as frustrating for the arty player as they are for the tanker that the shell hits. Once you've pressed fire and the shell leaves the spout, you have absolutely no control on, one, whether it's actually going to hit the target, two, if it doesn't hit the target, is it going to splash them, and then if it does hit, and you could do 16 damage or you could do 1600 damage, and that could one-shot somebody, or it could just plink the paint on the front of the tank. And that's frustrating from both points of view. You know, the large amount of damage irritates the crap out of the tanker, and the tiny little nibbles of damage when you're in a tier 9 or 10 artillery piece is just really frustrating for the driver when they know they're going to have to wait for another 45 seconds before they can try again. Now, if they were to completely go the same way as Armoured Warfare, it might not work as well, because in my opinion all the different SPG lines that we have in World of Tanks at the moment are very different machines. It really depends on your playing style and things as to how, like, which artillery line you should go down. Some people like the high damage but the long reloads of some of the American artillery, but others like the faster shell travel times and the quicker reloads but the narrow arcs of the Russians. Or you've got the lightweight speed and manoeuvrability of some of the French artillery pieces. The alpha damage isn't quite as high, but the reloads are good, and you can slowly plink away at people. And actually, as I think the replay that I might pick to go over this will show, if you keep firing the gun, you can slowly rack up the damage, because even with misses, you can just get the gun reloaded again, get yourself into a good position, and just keep plinking away at people. So they do need to be careful when changing the way artillery works, as to not make all of the different artillery lines just feel the same, because then what would be the point in having them? It would be like having the same tank that's just got different skins, and that wouldn't be fun for anybody. So yes. Now, one last thing I did read about was that there was going to be an artillery poll, and I've had a look and I haven't found it yet, but there was going to be something that Wargaming were going to put out where they wanted input from players. Now, not just, you know, I want it deleted out of the game, or artillery's naff, blah blah blah, moan whinge moan. They actually wanted constructive ideas, but I haven't managed to find it yet. And Rita did mention it in one of her blog posts back in late June, so maybe I've missed it. I was trying to keep an eye out, but you know, with work and things, I'm not necessarily keeping up together with the forums all of the time. But there was potentially going to be some interesting questions, like what was your favourite arty and the least liked one, and why? Does your clan use artillery in global matches, and on which maps and things like that? How many arties do you own, and from what trees? I mean, if you're like me, you pretty much own all of them, almost. Yeah, so that could be really interesting and helpful. I mean, unfortunately for Wargaming, the most vocal people out there are famous YouTubers and people that are on the forums a lot that really don't like the way artillery is at the moment, but in my opinion haven't really played it regularly enough to have a decent idea of how the changes need to take place. They only have an idea of the changes from a tanker's point of view and not from the artillery's point of view. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that we need to just take the artillery's point of view into consideration, but I think we need an overall idea of what these artillery changes need to involve, because a lot of them seem great at first, but from one perspective or another it doesn't work. So it's a tough task for wargaming, and I don't envy them at all. But I'm going to remain here, and I'm going to keep playing artillery, and hopefully over the coming months, if these artillery changes start to come about, then we will ride the wave and we'll see what happens. And whether it's good or bad, I will try and endeavour to show them. And yeah. So that's some of the changes or the proposed changes for artillery, but I thought I'd pop back into the actual game nice and live again. Feels a lot more comfortable. And I thought, well, we've got time for another match or two. So I decided to have a couple of warm-up games first, not in artillery, but in some normal tanky poos. And I've not been doing too badly. But crazily enough, I've just had this Tiger 2 game, and it's probably like the best game I've ever had in the Tiger 2, and I managed to survive. Yeah, so I was really, really happy with that. The crew are almost up to 100% on their first perk, because I've slowly been working through this heavy tank with a fresh crew. Yeah, almost got 6 kills there, but not quite. But the amount of damage that was blocked and assisted just ticked me over the 6k, and I survived. And it was one of the heavy tank missions that I hadn't managed to get everything on before, so wow, whew, I actually had to stop for a second and just chill. So hopefully we can carry on the good luck in some of the artillery. So I'm thinking that what we might do is, one of the proposed arty changes was to change the view to just battle assistant. So I was thinking in this match, if I can remember, we will just use the battle assistant and not the overhead view, and see what kind of result we get. I know over one match we're not going to get a brilliant idea, because we might have a scout come and kill us, and you know, RNG might be against us, but let's pop out and see what that would be like with the way artillery currently is, because I know that they are on about introducing all of the changes together, not slowly over time. So yeah, let's pop out in the Object 261 and see what kind of thing happens. El Halouf, tier 10 game, unsurprisingly. So here we are. Could be interesting. It's a good mix there. I like those medium tanks. Right. So, seeing as though we're starting over this way, we could pop up there in the north, but I'm thinking it's probably best for us to try and sit over this ridge, because we might be able to get some better shots across over to the western flank, over kind of the A1 kind of section, you know, around there where a lot of the heavies and stuff go. Also a lot of the medium tanks, some of the medium tanks are probably going to end up at C2 and poke over the ridge there, so we might be able to get some shots across on them. That's if we don't get spotted on the way over here. So let's concentrate first on getting into position and watching the map at the same time, just to see where things that are spotted are likely to be headed. So we've got a couple of mediums and 2 heavies headed over to that C2 section, which is pretty predictable. So we're going to sit just on this crest here. See what we can see. So, right. So we're going to try and stick to this battle assistant view. Now, how far out the zoom is going to be, we don't know. So this is potentially what it's going to be like. Very strange. So we've got a high explosive round loaded at the moment. Shot away. Okay, that hit him in the tracks. Oh, I keep going back to the overhead view. It's just something that we're so used to. Okie dokie. So we get aimed in for a second shot. We are coming up on the reload, and oh, it's really difficult to kind of gauge targets and things. That's really weird. So there's a shot away. Don't know if that splashed anybody. It could have done. So just move around a little bit just in case the T92 on their team is checking us out. Or checking out our spot. Making sure I lock the hull down every time. Just in case we end up moving the camera angle around too much. So let's have a look for this WZ then. Excellent, we managed to hit him. Bless you. So move over just again, slightly. So we might be able to get a shot on this Leopard or the arse end of this this IS-7. Let's have a look. See if we could maybe get shots on him. Oh, he's just moving out. Away. Okay, that Leopard looked like he was sat fairly still. It went in. So I'm guessing that that managed to do something. So we're still with the high explosive rounds. Wow, they're pushing around here fairly aggressively. Let's see if we can get a shot on one of these guys when the reload comes up. So here we are, they're all moving backwards and forwards effectively. And shot away. There we are. Not quite a high enough roll to finish him off, but our E50 managed it. So let's just move back round over this way. We're cutting it a bit fine to get aimed in for this reload. Rightio, so we might be able to get a shot on these guys as well then. Let's let the same time come right in. Here we are. Shot away. Excellent, we hit him in the engine deck by the look of that. T92 has been spotted. He probably knows he's been spotted, so he's going to be on high alert, I would have imagined. So we might be able to get another shot on this Centurion. T54 is out of our range at the moment. Oh no, he's popping in. Okie dokie, here we go. So we're going to have to try and... Shot away. Excellent, that hit too. Lovely stuff. Hopefully the E100... No, never mind. It's been taken out. Boo! Well, we nearly saved the E100's life. Almost. Right, let's see if we can get any shots on this object. He's behind this little hillock fairly well. And there he goes. So we've just got the Type 5 and this T54 left. The T54 was over this way. Where could he be spotted next? Our E50 is hiding fairly well. So the T54 could be headed round up the east. We're not necessarily going to be able to get any shots on this guy. Might be able to fling... Might have to wait until he pops over this way. I'll let the guys know we're ready to fire. Ah, there's T54. Right on the edge of our arc. So he's headed right in. Not going to be able to get any shots on him while he's behind there. Okay. Does feel weird always being in this view, I have to admit. It's a little bit odd. Excellent, we hit him in the tracks. Probably no need to move now unless we need to get a better shot. They are being capped, so maybe they're going to see if they can help the cap out. Our guys are coming up to flank the T-54, which would be good. There's the T-54 as well. Okie dokie, he's coming up fairly aggressively. Aiming in on a shot like this is going to be difficult. He's going to be well past there by now. Right, this is our last high explosive round. So we're not... Ooh. T-54's not looking too healthy. It's really difficult to keep an eye on whether or not you can get shots on other people and things. It's yeah, this is a weird one. Okay, so the T-54's headed back over. They're still spotted. It must be the E-50 that's managing that. I'm kind of tweaking the hull backwards and forwards because it's difficult to tell if we're getting close to the edge of our traverse. Okay, shot away. Oh, that went over his head. That was unlucky. Okay, we only have armor-piercing rounds left. Ooh. This is going to be tough. But that means we're actually going to... Good. The E-50's taken out the T-54. This Type 5 Heavy is very low health. Now he's even less. These guys should be able to finish him off. Excellent. Good game. Awesome stuff. So, there we are. Here's the results from that game. That was far better than I thought it was going to be. Using Battle Assistant all of the time. Remember that we were trying that because of the way that the artillery changes could potentially be, that could be our main view all of the time. Now, we weren't sure on how far out you would be able to zoom. That felt to me like quite a comfortable amount of zoom outness, but maybe they'll let you go further, maybe they won't let you go as far. I was finding that it was difficult, especially when there was that large group of tanks over in the north there, to decide which target to go for. Was it do I go for him or this one? Can I lead them? You know, that was the decision making needs to change. It's like it's a bit of it screws with your head a little bit there. But let's have a look at the results for that game. We managed just over 6,000 damage, 6,030 damage, and 771 assist. So the WN8 there was pretty damn spanking. So we managed an ace tanker badge, which is good. I don't get many of those. High caliber, Confederate, and a Gauls medal. Awesome stuff. Yes. So yeah, second on XP. Our E100 did very well over in the north on his own there, and it was such a shame that we couldn't really help him out enough to keep him alive, because he did very well with people coming from every angle at him. So yeah, well deserved amount of XP there, and I'm surprised that we were second on XP. That's pretty cool. Yes. Yeah, there's a few people that did considerable amount of damage there. That was really good. The T-54 had a blinding game. It was a shame that he couldn't quite pull it off, but he did well, especially with the low amount of hit points that he managed to have near the end there. So yes, 10 shots fired, 7 direct hits and 3 splashes. So yeah, that's not too bad at all. And even with premium consumables, I don't normally play this tank to make money, but even with premium consumables we came away with almost 31 grand there, and I am running a personal reserve at the moment, so the amount of XP for this ×3 on this particular weekend, that's a pretty damn good amount of XP as well. Wow, super. Oh, and managed to complete one of the artillery missions. Awesome stuff. Yes. Super. Well, I'm guessing that probably best to maybe start this one, maybe? Oh, that's weird. Meh. Alright. Whatever. Not too worried about missions, to be honest. Okay, well, it's probably gone on long enough this episode with my waffling at the beginning and then have a match at the end. So I'll leave it there for this episode. Hope you've enjoyed it. I know I'm not brilliantly clear with things, but, you know, I am who I am. So, yes, but leave a like if you enjoyed. It really helps me out and helps the channel and stuff. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!